Hey, seventh graders, this video is going to walk you through the steps for completing Investigation 2, Finding Patterns in Fossil Data. You're going to use the Google Doc to answer questions. You will also find a link to Google Slides that have all of the handout cards that we would have used in class. You'll need that information to help you figure out the questions as well. So first of all, look at this illustration. Notice the blue line that goes through the center of the image. What do you notice that is different between the fossils above that line and the fossils below it? Did you notice that there are some fossils that appear only below the blue line, and there's a new fossil that appears only above it? There are different fossils that are found in different strata or different sections of rock. Scientists use patterns in the fossil record to make conclusions about life on Earth. What do you think happened to organisms whose fossils never show up again in the fossil record? They're found only below the blue line. That's right. They might have gone extinct. Scientists believe that there have been 5 mass extinction events, which means that an entire species or many entire species went extinct at the same time. This is based on fossil data. One of the mass extinction events seems to have killed off the dinosaurs. In this investigation, you'll analyze data to find patterns in the fossil record. You are not working in pairs, you're doing this alone. You are going to first read about the dinosaur fossil record by reading handout C. That is slides 1 through 3 in that slideshow. You need to read the information, look at the pictures that go with it, and decide what you think happened to the dinosaurs based on the data shown there. Then you need to map out the 5 mass extinction events. You'll do that by analyzing the data on handout D, that's slide 4 in the Google slideshow, and label where you think the 5 mass extinction events are indicated. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. This is the image that's shown on handout D. Where did you determine the 5 mass extinction events happened on this graph? What were you looking for? Well, you should have looked to these major drops on the graph. When the total number of organisms drops suddenly, like it does right here, between the Ordovician and Silurian eras, that indicates a mass extinction event. So look for those big troughs in the graph. Here they are labeled for us. Does that make sense with the data? Other smaller patterns in the fossil record can also be found by comparing fossils to modern-day organisms or to each other. So the next step is to compare fossils with modern-day organisms. You are going to use the fossils on handout E, that's slides 5, 6, and 7 in that Google slideshow, and compare them with modern-day organisms, then answer the questions that go with that in your Google Doc. Go ahead and pause the video and do that now. Then the final part of this investigation is comparing fossils with each other. So you need to analyze the fossils on handout F, that's slides 8 through 13, compare the fossils with each other, both by looking at the pictures and also by reading the descriptions that go with them. Sometimes you'll need to click through a couple slides to see all of the information about a particular fossil, and then answer the questions that go with that section in your Google Doc. So to sum all of this up, when we compare fossils with modern-day organisms, we can draw some conclusions about how similar ancient organisms lived because we see similarities between those ancient organisms and organisms that live today that we're more familiar with. When we compare fossils found in different strata from different periods of time with each other, we can see how life on Earth changed over time. We can also see how the complexity of traits has increased in living things over the span of life's existence on Earth. And when we look at the whole fossil record of organisms over history of Earth, we do see some patterns. We see mass extinction events and the diversity of organisms that lived throughout history. Go ahead and hit that blue submit button to turn in your Google Doc, and you are done with investigation 2.